guys and gals, Never here from Drake Wing Gaming, and something on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you with the Let's Play episode of Moonlight Castle, Dylan's Path. So let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, we're up, and let's go. My body filled with adrenaline, I sprang from my seat, and I was ready to make a run for it. Don't move! All the fur on the back of my neck stood up as I heard a voice from behind me, and it was exactly where I had been sitting just moments ago. My chest tightened and my breathing became heavy. Yet, funny enough, I obeyed what the voice told me. I stopped in my tracks. Turn around. Every muscle inside me was screaming, telling me not to do it, yet I was too scared to listen to them rather than the voice. My whole life, I had always been about following orders in order to stay alive anyway. It was my only survival mechanism at this point, and it always worked out. Therefore, I did what the voice said, and then I saw... It was a male cheetah, presumably around my age. He was sitting on the chair that I was on, and his legs were spreading onto the table. His claws were out, and his eyes were glaring right into mine. I could sense anger seeping through his teeth, even if it appeared that he was trying to look calm and collected. If anyone thought Dylan was scary, then they'd surely never met this cheetah. Just the feline's presence alone was absolutely horrifying to me. Now, sit. He knocked over a nearby chair with his foot, and it seemed he expected me to pick it up and sit on it. I was frozen. Every inch of my body was kept in place, and I was conflicted, worried, and panicked all beyond belief. I said sit! He shouted, loud and clear, and it was that moment that I immediately followed his instruction, although I was reluctant. All I could think at that moment was that I wished Ryan would come over to save me. Finally, I get to see you up close, Kaysen. I swallowed. He knew my surname, which suggested that he'd either studied me beforehand or stalked me. What was I supposed to do? How was I going to get out of this situation? Why was this happening? Did I do something? There were so many questions swarming my head, and they were all hitting the walls, bouncing everywhere inside it. I couldn't think straight, as this had never happened to me before. I was merely a college student. Why would anyone stalk me? Okay, I got your tongue. You better get it back, because I need it. Are you going to hurt me? Maybe. Depends on you. Must have done something to someone then, but what? I didn't remember doing anything, and I didn't even know this guy. I'll be real with you, Kaysen. I hate your guts a lot, and it's probably why you managed to feel my presence. I could trash you with my paws right here, right now, but then Boss would probably make me pay for that. Boss? This guy wasn't alone. Shit, this was bad. How'd I end up here? I just wanted to get Liam's notes. What you've done to him is absolutely unforgivable, and I've decided that I'll make you pay. Him? What? Could it be... You're one clever fucker, aren't you? Think you can get away with that? Hell no, you won't. Before I could say anything, he threw himself at me, and I was basically at his mercy. He was so agile, moving fast like a snake, and he was completely overpowering me, standing behind myself. I tried to struggle, but I'd always been awful at fighting back. His limbs were wrapped around me, and the tips of his sharp claws were rubbing against my neck. Now, let's take a walk through the school. One funny movement, and I'll cut it open. You got that? His claws were pressing my skin, and so were his fingers, and I thought I'd faint on the spot. Well, that's quite a pickle. I wanted to cry for help, but nothing came out. The fear was suppressing everything in me. You better move. If it isn't you, then your friend will be it. He snickered right into my ear. It was a laughter that would probably haunt me in my dreams for a long time. Ryan Giles, right? Ryan, but he was supposed to save me! I gave in to the cheetah's demand and began walking with him away from the canteen. Moving along the hallway, I tried my best not to appear like I was in danger. The cheetah hadn't shared much information with me, and I figured that I was being led somewhere, probably outside. Upstairs. Or not. Well, that alone crossed out quite a few options, but I managed to utter a question. Where are we going? The cheetah didn't reply. However, I could kind of guess what was going on now. Was this what he meant when he said that we lived in two different worlds? It was crazy. Absolutely crazy. Also, it was kind of curious how there was no one in the hallways. I was lost for words. Was I just unlucky today? And where was Ryan? Shouldn't I have come across him by now? The cheetah let go of me as we reached our destination. We were standing in front of an entrance, and I was given a period of temporary relief as his claws were no longer on my neck. I gave it a touch to confirm that everything was indeed fine. Open the damn door! He pushed me with his foot right into the door, and I was forced to grab its handle, or else the door could have pushed itself open, and I'd have landed on the floor. Jesus, okay, I'm doing it! Entering the library, I felt reassured, as there were people, students moving around to check shelves and read books. My eyes were flicking back and forth between the people in the room and the cheetah behind me. Maybe there was an idea worth trying. Go ahead, try me. I couldn't bear the thought of turning my head to fully face him, so I could only imagine how he looked when he said that. It seemed he was one step ahead of me, and my simple trick wouldn't be enough to outsmart him. Up another floor, Kaysen. I wish I'd listened to Ryan this morning. I could have been anywhere but here. I stared at the steps. The staircase was probably the last thing standing between me and his boss. Slowly, I ascended them. It perplexed me once I'd reached the top, as I was expecting to see a completely different person rather than the one I saw. There you are. I've been waiting. Liam? Yeah, I know. I'll just wait out your shock. Not even a moment had passed and the bastard was already messing around with my emotions. The fuck was all this? The lynx was looking in my direction, but it seemed he was more staring at the person behind me. Give him some space, Marcus. He's not running away. It's Mark to you, Pratt. The cheetah grunted and moved to the side. He was no longer behind me. For the first time in minutes, I was able to breathe freely. What was this all about? You just assaulted and kidnapped me. Yo, chill. I didn't. He did. Liam pointed a finger at Mark, and I just frowned. There was no way that the lynx could avoid accountability. You're not innocent. Let's just say I gave him a push. All he wanted you here, and his methods were unknown to me. Bullshit! I wouldn't have to do it if you didn't send Ryan in your place and made my life harder. Where is he? What did you do to him? Relax, he's fine. He took the stuff that you wanted to borrow, and he left a while ago. He did what? That's impossible. I would have... Heard from him? Is that it? Oh, Joel, my dear friend, you're so naive. I'll give you a freebie. Take it as a way I'm saying I'm sorry for the rough treatment you got. Think about it, and you'll notice the inconsistency in his behavior. There's a hole there, a big empty space in his timeline, something he claims to have done, but it just doesn't exist. Well, that was completely fucking unexpected. What the hell? There's a hole there, a big empty space in his time. Okay, already. Okay. What does he actually do when you're not looking? What is he hiding away from you? Stop! There's no way what you're saying is true. My phone began to ring itself to interrupt our conversation. It was Ryan. I knew it. He was looking for me. But why was he calling me so late? I looked at Liam, and once he gave a nod of approval, I answered the phone. Hey, Joel, I got your notes. Actually, it's a recording of the entire lesson, which should be even better, right? That's great. You sound tired. Where are you now? I just got to the canteen, but you aren't here. Just now? Yeah. Liam wasted so much of my time, it was unbelievable. I see. Are you coming here soon? Everyone else should also be coming too. Yeah, I'll be there in a bit. Bye. I ended the call, and the hand that was holding the phone went limp. I hated to admit it, but Liam was right. I couldn't look at him, and I hated how he was forcing me to see it. It felt as if I was on my own again in this lonely world. You're welcome. Screw him, I thought. I really wanted to say it out loud, right in his face. However, I just couldn't. There just wasn't anybody out there I could rely on, was there? Was I doomed to always feel isolated? A realization hit me, and it was pushing me away from the present. It had become the focus of my mind. The hell's going on here? I heard Dylan's voice from a distance, and it kind of snapped me back from a state of trauma, though only partially. It was like I was back to reality and wasn't at the same time. Joel? It seemed the reptile's pacing was increasing, and quickly the crocodile was making his way to me. He tapped me on the face a few times, and he was trying to hold me up, which made me realize that I'd been on the floor. Just let go of me. He did, as soon as he heard me, and then I felt it again, seeping anger. It was boiling, swelling from within. However, this time I could tell that it wasn't from Mark, although it was similar, and that wasn't part of the target. No, I was worried for a second that your stupid stunt yesterday had ruined my chance to investigate. Liam stepped forward, and he was looking as chaotic as his usual self. Mark, come here for a second. Immediately, the cheetah answered Dylan's call and placed himself next to me. I'm here, boss. I did well, didn't I? Dylan cracked his own neck and knuckles, then without warning, he released all the anger that was built. The reptile launched a full-blown punch right into the cheetah's face and sent the tawny guy flying. It was enough to give Liam a clue about what was going on. The lynx was flinching and trying to back away. However, before he could, his tail was grabbed by the crocodile and he was being pulled toward the reptile. Hey, I'm your hirer, remember? His speech was slurred. It seemed he was drenched in fear as he foresaw a similar fate upon himself. You can't do this! You won't see a single penny if the thorough exploration doesn't happen! I don't fucking care. Dylan glared briefly into Liam's eyes before landing a headbutt on the lynx's face. There wasn't much noise out of the lynx, even though he was bleeding. It must have been hard, as it left a bruise even on the crocodile's head. That's enough! Don't do anything further! I knew that the crocodile would keep going if I didn't stop him. He was just mad. Too mad right now, and he kept staring at the lynx. who was now on the floor, for a little while before the reptile huffed and looked away. Liam promptly yet slowly crawled away from Dylan. The reptile then took a chair from a nearby table and placed me on it. Rest. I have some business to take care of. Boss, what was that for? Mark was holding his nose with both hands and making a lot of noise. Shut your trap. We're in a library. I was only trying to help you. The cheetah then pointed at me. Aren't you mad at him? I'm not. You can't lie to me, boss. I know you've been upset since you came back. You're a fool. Liam has completely manipulated you. Get lost. Now. But it's an order. Now. Reluctantly, the tawny feline disappeared behind one of the many bookshelves around us. Dylan took another look at me and then let out a sigh. What do I do with you? This is the first time in my entire fucking life that I feel this lost. I'd warned you, hadn't I? You don't even know anything. You had no idea what you're getting yourself into. What do you want? Do you want me to beg? Is that it? What does it take to keep you away? I want a proper explanation. You can't expect me to leave you. I don't do that. That's the attitude I don't understand. From where I came from, people were treated as tools. All of us were. Cooperation happened only because it was necessary. And the moment one became useless, they were thrown on the street to die like a rat. I don't have anything to offer you. That's what you think. Am I also just another tool to you, then? Yes. I see. However, I don't believe it. I couldn't accept that. It hurt to hear it. You'd be right to doubt his words. Liam stood up and dragged himself back to our table. His forehead was soaked in crimson and probably needed medical attention. Go and clean yourself. You've spat enough poison. I'm not letting you interfere. What, you think traumatizing Joel and forcing me to reveal my life is the answer? Have you lost your mind? You're with me, and he's been avoiding you. And I need him, so I had to take matters into my own hands. For fuck's sake, that's what I wanted him to do. If he steps out, everyone else is going to leave too. Don't you understand? We can go alone, just the two of us. Our chances would reduce drastically. It'd make the expedition too risky. Oh. Dylan shrugged quite violently and turned to face me. Can you walk? I'm gonna tell you one last time. Go home and forget about this. I want to know everything. I'm not leaving after what they did. It seemed Dylan didn't like the idea. However, soon afterward his expression changed. It was as if he thought that he could use what I wanted against me. You know what? Fine. I'm done circling around. Have fun. What do you want to know? Who's Mark, and why does he call you boss? Back in the day, I used to lead a gang of bikers across the streets in my area. Some shit went down, and he's the only one left. Do you really have to go that far to bring me here? You're just weak. If you didn't want to do what he said, all you had to do was beat his ass. I'd rather not solve everything with violence. Suit yourself. Not everyone can be convinced with mere words. Is that why you threw me on the ground yesterday? Yes. For your own sake, I wanted you to stay away from me. You can't decide for me. Neither can you. I'm not giving you a choice. You aren't safe around me. The closer you stay, the more difficult your life becomes. Why? What have you done? I've done lots of things. Bad things. Everything that paid well, I did all of them. It wasn't like I had a choice. It was do or die, and I needed to survive. You still have the luxury of choosing the kind of life you want to live. Don't waste it here. Are you done parenting me? I don't think I asked you to do that. And I'm still waiting for the reasons I shouldn't be around you. The reptile grinned. To him, it must have been like a dare. Drugs, assault, burglary, you name it. For the right price, I've done all of them. Alright, y'all, I'm actually gonna pause it right there. Damn. Alright, thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout-out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank y'all for all you do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silverman. Thank you for going above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks to our 2 gold tier patrons, Zeke and Toby. Y'all are awesome. We love you. Thank you for subbing to Ultimate Tier. Anyway, if y'all want to get your names in the credits, get access to all of our Not Safe for Work contents as little as $5. Alrighty, I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!